Box Productions.
KRS, Lloyd Banks, Big L, Eminem, DMX, Drake.
Lloyd Banks.
Huh? Lloyd Banks, of course. Bro,
Lyricist?
Lloyd, the illest lines ever.
All right, quote 4 bars. Impress me with 4 bars is.
Come on, X. Come on, I can't
Give me
think
4
of
bars. Yo, it shouldn't be hard. 4 bars. 4 bars. No, fuck it. Give me 2.
I can't
2
think
bars.
of them.
Huh?
I can't think of them now. I just was writing
Oh,
down.
okay. All right.
Hold on, let me ask you.
Okay, anybody I name, bars on deck. Bars on deck.
Hold on, listen.
Niggas is shooters.
On my mama. DMX crazy. Real fool. A lot of things to consider. Can't deny DMX verified, bona fide, certified dopehead. At Lloyd Banks' most popular time in his career was amongst some of the time where the most documented times where DMX was most smoked out, perhaps not tapped in, not a big 50 fan or what it might be, but not tapped into the whole scenario of the G-Unit situation enough to be real familiar with what Lloyd Banks is known for. Because if you talk about the hip-hop elements, there may be 5, 10, 7, 8, however many elements you want to say that makes an artist whatever. And lyrics are one of them. And if you got to take everything else from Banks, you're going to give him lyrics. And that just made DMX, it just reminded everybody that DMX smoked a lot of dope, his reaction. However, the way that he challenged Lloyd Banks' name, I don't know why he picked Lloyd Banks out of that whole list as if there was a big controversy versus him and some of the other names. But my thing is this. That's a question I ask people a lot. Like, when if I happen to be in a situation where you're telling me who your favorite rapper is, or if I ask you your favorite rapper and you give it to me, I say, let me hear a dope bar. Tell me a dope bar. I've asked this about Kendrick quite a few times. And no matter who it is, nobody can never give me a dope bar. They always go to a hook. I'd be like, no, that's a hook. But I could kind of understand more so in Lloyd Banks' scenario when he asked him, give me a bar. And he couldn't come off of the bar right offhand, perhaps because Lloyd Banks is not a person that is contemporarily experiencing success. He might not be that person's favorite right now. And although through my experience of listening to Lloyd Banks music over my life, when I was more familiar with it, you can be familiar with the experience of saying, ooh, that's dope, ooh. But everybody doesn't have the brain to memorize bars like that, even though you know. And a lot of times the complexity of a dope bar may make it a little bit more difficult to memorize or remember, especially when it's not yours. But on my mama, somebody like Kendrick, a more contemporary artist whose success was more immediate, I would find people saying that he's the dopest, and I'd be like, oh, that's what's up. Give me a dope line. And nobody could recite a line in particular. And it's like, I just found that interesting that was the way DMX chose to present his challenge to any particular name, because that's the way I always do it. So, like, if anybody offer any artist as the top or their favorite, then my very next question is, okay, give me your favorite bar by them, they dopest line. So I found that interesting. But I mean, I heard Curtisha try to say, he tried to describe Lloyd Banks as the self-proclaimed punchline king in his book. And even if Lloyd Banks did proclaim himself as punchline king, the industry, the culture also conceded and awarded him that title as well. So I watched how he tried to make that little slight when he mentioned it. Lloyd Banks is the punchline king. DMX putting one individual on the spot for some bars that I could just go to my IG and read you the bars that people came and typed on Lloyd Banks' behalf of his own that would easily prove the point. But I mean, DMX is a legend in his own right, and like I was saying, when a certain individual was trying to discredit the homie on his legendary status, just being a legend is not even something that is necessarily a compliment. Being legendary is not in it of itself something to appreciate. It depends on what you're legendary at, unless you're just like what y'all call clout chasers and just want to be known for anything, and then just to be legendary no matter how hideous the actual activity or accomplishment or event or involvement is that you're involved in. If you don't care what it is and you just want to be legendary, there's tons of ways to being legendary. Oh, my mama. And Banks is legendary with the punchlines. Oh, my mama. And that falls under the category of lyricists. So we have to, as we analyze that little piece, remember, once again, X's substance abuse history. So Banks even he responded. He say, it gives us some context of perhaps why Lloyd Banks feel like DMX is speaking derogatory against him. He feel like Banks fronted on him, didn't come to a session, and so now Banks feel like, oh, so you know me because of that. So because I didn't come to the studio to work when he reached out, I'm not that good. I have no clue. God bless him. Hey, Banks always go the classy route. Oh, Bob. He ain't finna get drug into no low level back and forth on the internet. But he said what he said. Look, he said, I'm not that good. That was arrogant in itself. On my mama, neighborhood, Mongo. On Goddery. But a shout out to Banks. X, you know better than that. Anybody that care about X and the way he presents his perspective on the culture, go let him get a bar of Banks for real. Maybe it's Banks' voice a lot of times that causes certain people not to be able to really tap into what he's saying. Because as much as DMX has some dope records, I don't think anybody would be in a hurry just to put him on the lyricist list. And I feel like he's lyrical, but the terms of hip hop credit and praise have gotten so broad. It's like you never know what the criteria is for anyone getting a certain title. Shout out to Kendrick K. Dot on my mama. One of the most biggest successful artists ever at this point. And they give him a lot of accolades in the lyrical department. But I just don't find nobody that can really give me those quotables that just make me say, ooh. Although his flow is dope, his presentation and delivery, his packaging, the whole records, the production, I love the way the whole team operates from the top of the chain down to the way the artist is presented and supported. They got it working like a fine-tuned machine. But I just think that a lot of the categories where the titles are passed around are so vague, it's a lot of times it's up to opinion, perception, and who's actually doing the speaking and the viewing at that time. Oh, my mama. You know why I find that Lloyd Banks and DMX controversy so interesting personally? A lot of y'all don't know, the day that I met Doja, I met him at a video shoot, a DMX video shoot. I had met DMX the same day. And it was the Aaliyah. Aaliyah had recently passed, and they had did the record, I Miss You. And they was doing it was a lot of artists on the record. And the artists shot their segment for the video on different days. Shout out to my big homie Cookie, from the Rough Riders. He from the east side. He from my section of town as well. But he, through the years, being affiliated with Big Y and D and them, I was always invited to Cookie to certain events. He was always certain places. He knew what I did, so he'd be in certain spots. Like, where you at? I'm whoop-de-whoop. He'd come through. I was at the Nelly and Snoop Dogg Gin and Juice video with a Death Row chain on, trying to make sure Snoop seen it in this little bitty ass spot. Cousin Cookie. He called me to this particular video. DMX shooting I Miss You for Aaliyah. So when we get there, to make a long story short, I end up asking DMX, I'm like, yo, I rap, I want to rap for you. Cuz it's like, I'm shortening the story up. It was a little more back and forth details, but he like, where the other nigga at that said he was the king of the West? Go get him, it's another nigga. He telling his homies. So on my mama, this is how I met Doja. That's who come back in. He like, hey yo, they go find him. 10, 15 minutes, he come back, we in the trailer. He like, hey, did you tell me you was the hardest on the West? He like, yeah. He was like, oh yeah, well, he rap. He like, what you got? So Doja like, what up, you rapping? Like, yeah. He like, go, bust. I'm like, you bust. He like, whoa. So I bust, he bust, I bust, he bust again, then I bust again. I kind of wait to see if he gonna bust again, then I just bust, till he like, on my mama, cuz, on my kids. This Doja. Oh, you can't beat that ghetto poetry. You can't beat that ghetto poetry. That real talk with that ghetto poetry. You got it, homie. Wooty-woo. DMX telling him the same thing. Like, yeah, you can't come freestyling against no nigga with rhymes. Yeah, you better get it together. You better brush it up. Can't come with that freestyling. He ate you up. He killed you. Yeah, man, you dope, right? That was the gang of witnesses there. I think I called him PK last time, but the producer, KP, Killer Tracks, P Killer Tracks, K Pillars, he was up in there. Like I said, the homie Malik was in there, the homie Cookie was in there, my cousin Ero was in there, on my mama. It's a whole lot of other people in like ex-entourage that I don't have a clue who they are, who were there. So it's individuals. You know how the truth is. It is what it is. So I know how DMX, he know about my bars. And then my experience with Lloyd Banks, y'all know he and I collaborated on quite a few times. I used to take pride and humble honor in the fact that out the blue, on more than one occasion, Lloyd Banks used to call my phone and hit me and tell me certain things about my flow, my style, that he appreciated. Thank you, HQ. And that ain't bragging, that's sharing to let you know these are some of the trophies I hold. When he, according to Curtisha, self-proclaimed himself Punchline King, when all y'all agreed, then he used to hit me and then let me know things about my style to just let me know, like, damn, the guy that everybody appreciate his lyrics like this, he appreciate my lyrics like this. So when it comes to a question of lyrics between DMX and the Punchline King, two legends that hip-hop can arguably agree to or establish, and then that's my interest in that when it comes to lyrics. I just thought of that while I was listening to that song. I wanted to put that on there for y'all. Oh, my mama.
Snakewood and that hustle. Big shout out to my nigga SPI, Spotter Low. You know, I'm in the black box. Had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned. All that.